bow down to. The only person that we bow down to is the one true and living God. Donald Trump is not a God. Donald Trump is not a king.
King Trump, he is not, but the former president's lead in the polls, nevertheless, is sizable. Based in places. David Wilson is a political consultant based in South Carolina. He has such a groundswell of support. Mr. Wilson says Haley could remain in the race as an alternative if Mr. Trump's legal problems lead to any nasty surprises in the nomination. I think Nikki Haley is kind of like the birds on the sideline standing right next to the coach, hoping somebody gets injured. He gets called out of the game, standing there going, I'm ready to go in, coach. I'm ready to go in. Can I go in now? But Haley supporters Zoe and Sean Owen say their woman is in it to win it. I think if there's one girl, there's their woman one day. You need someone else that's nasty. South Carolina's answer to not get that. Will Vernon reporting from South Carolina. Tuesday. Now, a new film, The List, which premieres in London, tells the harrowing story of people inside of free Afghanistan when the Taliban took back power in August 2021. It focuses on the efforts of the Iranian dissident as he and others drew up a list of 800 poets, dancers, filmmakers, musicians, journalists, and others whose lives and his family were open five artists to save him. But his efforts have earned him a reputation of the mission to Moscow German industrialist who sheltered some 1,100 Jews from the Nazis. Very good to see you. I watched the film and I found it harrowing and compelling about and it's directed by your daughter. Take us back to those days. One thing that it reminded me of watching was how quickly things changed, and therefore how little time any had to prepare for return. Yes. Whenever I watch this it's short time. Dentists. Nation. My family and I remain around in Afghanistan. That's why we are aware of the situation. 2 months before the return of Taliban, we told that it would be disaster. So we promised the return of 300 festival. We asked them to invite artists for at risk. The answer was negative because they told the festival now, embassy now in Kabul, where the situation is normal. So we looked at from different governments. Fortunately, Macron office helped us first evacuate parties at risk by army airplane, but because of the crowd, we couldn't have all of the artists at risk in those airplanes. Unfortunately, as BBC reports, sometimes airplanes fly with one passenger, even though around the airport was full of people who want to, it was chaos. Yeah, absolutely chaos. And I mean, one of the elements of the film which is so striking is that you cut at regular intervals between what's going on in Kabul, the airport, and the chaos that you just described, and the desperate attempts that you and other family members and other people in your apartment in London, yes, the desperate attempts you're making to contact them and yes, find a way of getting them out. Yeah, and giving them passport to show them the soldier. And I remember on those days I had surgery in hospital. and I was talking with the phone, and the surgeon took my phone and fainted me. Then again, when I wake up, I start to continue calling everyone because of limited time. 5 weeks we were in this situation when the film showed last week of that. But now, what we can do for the remaining part, our list was 800 artists with their family. Till now, we helped 385 by help of France and Germany and some university in USA like Harvard, Columbia, and Chicago that they help us for evacuating 70. France about 300, Germany about 70, around 70. But we have a list of 260 remain still dangerous and the yes from UK still on. It is not only evacuating some people, you can say we cannot evacuate the nation. But you know, in Afghanistan, cultural activists are rare. They have not allowed. And just remind us why this particular group are under such threat. I mentioned poets, dancers, filmmakers, musicians, journalists. Why that in particular? First, because they criticize fundamental idea before they made film against Taliban. They made film against Taliban. And generally, art is forbidden in the eyes of Taliban. That's why they ban music instruments. That's why they punish the dancer. Second, they could be cultural ambassador of the humanity. When they are there, they are at risk. Some of them was being killed. Some of them now are in prison. Some of them hide themselves in the city. But when they come out, they could be active and they could produce culture to affect the country. It is not easy to reduce problem of the fundamentalism by army. Because it's matter of ignorance, and to fight with ignorance, you need culture, right of culture. Arisia, I know you wanted to come in, and I'll bring Misha in as well. Arisia, to you first.
Yeah, I think what speaks to me and resonates is the similarity with Putin's attitude to culture in Ukraine while he wages the war. You may recall there were this list of activists and journalists as they were occupying Kherson. There were, a killer's list. But also, I think when culture is being attacked, culture also becomes a weapon of resistance and in a way preserving that core. And I would like just quickly to bring a story of Vladimir Vakulenko, who was in Izyum under Russian occupation, was writing his diary, felt he would be killed, buried it in the glass jar, and was later, his father later gave this jar to a Ukrainian poet, Victoria Amelina, who brought this back to life, but herself was killed. More than 80 Ukrainian cultural leaders were killed. But there's one quote from him that I'd like to bring today. He said, "You can get used to anything. What matters is what sort of person you are left at the end of it." And I think cultural figures carry that core of humanity in them, regardless of the horrible condition in Afghanistan or Russian occupation that they live with.
Misha, let me bring you in with an observation or lead a question to this.
Well, yes, I was just struck as Alessia was talking about, of course, the destruction of the Buddhas of Bamyan. And this has been a speciality of the Taliban in particular, is to try and erase the memory of any pre-Talibanic civilization in Afghanistan. Afghanistan is a meeting point of so many rich cultures that this attempt to turn it into a monoculture is particularly distressing. But I couldn't agree more with you, Muslim, about the tragedy of that day in August, all those days when Afghans were trying to get out of the country and the way that after 21 years or 20 years or so, we just scuttled the place. It was a real demonstration of Western weakness, frankly.
I must say, most, I mean, the film captivating though it is, it's not an easy watch. There are, you mentioned the moment when people held onto an aeroplane as it took off, people eventually fell to their deaths. We see that in the distance, but we see it. And there was one horrible scene where he's being beaten by a Taliban soldier. Everything, you felt you had to put that in. Every day, the hear in the news that Taliban punish people or kill people in the Palestine or put them in the prison. And also, we hear that they rape women who are in the prison under the name of God. And it's very heart-wrenching. Something opposite of the idea that you announced. But let's go back and the evacuation of the main parties. We met 13 member of MP here. It needs support. Because in France, when Mr. Macron signed our request, happened something. But here, we should fight more, we should meet more people. And I would like to ask Prime Minister, I don't know how long you would be in this job, but do something good for yourself. It's better than the sleep pill later on.
Well, I have no idea whether he listens to this program, but if he does, you never know. He might get your message. And of those who are still there, I mean, how are they managing to stay as safe as they can? I mean, are they living under cover? Are they hiding?
For example, the ex-foreign minister of culture was hiding himself in the mountain and phoned my phone and told Hossein, I heard that you are helping Afghanistan artists save my family as well. You know, some of them hiding themselves in the mountain, some of them hiding themselves in different cities, some of them ran away already to the neighboring country like Iran and Pakistan, but they are not safe there. You cannot say, okay, they are not on the country because Iran pushed them back. As you heard in the Pakistan pushed 100,000 of those refugees back to their country. So we should do something for them. Absolutely, they are at least.
One last question about the film. It's a slightly lighter question because so away from the scenes in Kabul, there you are in your London apartment, all frantically working and making a phone call on the computer, doing whatever you possibly can. As a child, in the apartment,
My grandchild,
I thought it was your grandchild.
yes,
Who of course is aware of all this activity,
Yeah.
but utterly innocent.
actually, he is observing us. He doesn't know exactly what we are doing there, but sometimes we see he's doing a list because all of the member of family are busy for that. But my wife is trying to distract him. But it is not hope in this field because if my grandchild would be in safe place, but not the others.
We must leave it there. Thank you so much for coming in. Most very grateful. The film is called The List, and most Michael Malbach has been telling you the story of it. You're with Weekend. Now, Music of the Mind is a new exhibition at the Tate Modern Gallery in London. It looks at the work of Yoko Ono, who is now 90. In 1969, she became world famous when she married John Lennon, the Beatles. The show investigates the entirety of her art for 7 decades. As Vincent Down. 1, 2, 3, 4. One day, always made it hard judging Yoko Ono as an artist. She and John Lennon in March 1969. She was with him when this song was taped at their famous wedding. Yoko هذا كيف نتقول
كيفاش غيري يديري غير تسلسل بالنسبه للفقهاء الحمد لله نعم رب العالمين بالله كتسلسل دي شوفا صافي بلاد بيتينا وتقريبا جماعه وسيله الجماعه ديال التنميه قضيه قضيه الشهر قضيه صعب 10 واحد فبالنسبه الحمد لله نعم
قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم بقى انا واخا يتكلف يعني ما غير التمييز ولكن غاس يجي مشروع نهرم النخت قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم رحم الله عبدا عمل عملا فاتقنه مزيخت قال النبي صلى الله عليك يا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم قال استعذر مني غير كنشا العمل ولكن كذلك الاتقان تسمي قال الاتقان هي السكينة اللي غتجاني القبيلة اللي غتغكا تفهم الموجود يعني كل حاجة قدم الموجود والكسية من مسلات فوت ولا بين ولا انت ولا انت ولا انت لذلك قالوا جزاكم الله خيرا أهلا بالبركة أنظر بعد ننزل إن شاء الله زيد شهر إن شاء الله ورحمة الله وبركاته يهمنا السكينة يحفظ بروكم بعد نصح ماشي ونوعي نحتم نحمد نحتاج ما ايه عشان توكلوا المعاناة مليح شفت بس بلا مشتين كذا ايوا هالسيد ربي وضرب الفرج الزحمان الزحمان سيد ربي من جميع صالح وليدي ولا ماني مش نستنيها نعم قال معلم واش قد يصاب بالفرج ان شاء الله تولي الفرج خويا الفرج هكا هو الشرط امين الشرط الفرج اللي يخدعنا مني خصينا مني يخدم شعب شمس محمد اسمع على خصني اسئله في العالم شخص ليش جات كان القرن ليس منا بل لم يفكر كبيرنا لا بد ولا بد يخشى ساعته السي محمد غني ومعلم تعرف
ما شاء الله بس
يحفظ سيدي ربي انت يعني اذا غدي وين داني تاتي من المشروع الناس نساعد داني تاتي عرفتي السي محمد باش يحفظ سيدي ربي هذاك يقابل بركه ان شاء الله خليه اهتمام الناس الشرطات بينات يعني قارس شي الناس بحال الله تعانات بينات ان شاء الله غادي ينالوا يسخن ان شاء الله تعالى بقريب
باختصار السي محمد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاه والسلام على اشرف المرسلين كان رقم الكريم مره جمعيه سفينه الخير مره صار رئيس سبحان الله مره اليوم غادي كبير الصحافه كذا
اولا اشكال الجمعيه التي تهتم بالقصه المشاريع اولا الوسع السيكون ديال تبع الاحداث مارس يكون جمعيه الوقاص يحرم لكم الجمعيه اللي كنمشيو دغا لازم ندير وقت يسمح لي يسمح لي الوالدين الطاوله الميكاب بالبركه كيشرب لي العمل جمعوي مره كريس السيكون ليس كريس ولكن نديرو داك كيوا السيكون ليس مصير اختصاب قريصه وميكاب بالبركه صوبي ديال السيكون امين ولا زين جازين اسف ولا شوني وازيز ما تديرش نجي كيف تتقسم وضع البريزيدون وضع الكوف يقول الاجتماعيه جمعيه سيدي بالاساس وعندي يسمح حمام اسمه يتصابي يتصابي يمسيق يمشي على بضايع السنه سيفين في نفس السنه بما لي سي تنظيم بما لي راعي حقيقه مسؤوليه هذاك البيت ديك شي فلوس الاديات ولكن هذا تحتاج يمكن تحتاج والو كل يسعى توصل ديالها ميجي لا ميجي غير كل شيء بناخذ ماشي على الاقل على الاقل سي محمد كنت تابع على الاقل بالاقتصاد غادي يتسكت وسد على الشباسيه انا ملي كافي ولا ندور واحد 3 كيلومتر يكون بالوسط شويه سفينه الخير المحسنين اللي يستشرفوا اللي بلا الناس قرصوا بك بالبركه سيري خميتك طعمات كيلو غير سي رابير وصل الاقتصاد شكرا مبارة والسلام عليكم ورحمه الله تعالى وبركاته.
وفي النهايه اقول لكم جزاكم الله خيرا وحفظكم الله تعالى. باش تمشى هذه الاخبار ان شاء الله كنحكيو ان شاء الله باش كيجمعوا الناس الدوله لابد الله يجزيكم بخير ان شاء الله يولنا ان شاء الله يشاش في العمل الضخم في العمل الرائع باش نحاش تنقرات كراسي الاخت اذكر الله يجزيها الثالث اللي جنت راني سمعت يعني ثلاثه كراسي كني تحفظ الله تعالى ان شاء الله جزاكم الله خيرا. ليجنا الاخت ليلى اذا قامت تحفظ ربي الاخت اللي ديالها سابقا الثلاثه نسمات يودار يسمنت فقط غادي يحفظ ربي وتمثل ليلى كراسي وتمثل ليلى جزاك الله خيرا. ما مش تفكات كواريز من سي ربي اذا ان شاء الله اذا كان يوم القيامه كنا يسمونا كسيدي ربي يرحم السعد الملك اللهم ارحمه يا رب اللهم ارحمه يا رب اللهم ارحمه برحمتك الواسعه يا ربي. عمي ادريس اش يحفظ سيدي ربي سي ادريس الله يجازيك بخير اش يحفظ سيدي ربي انت غاسل طبي شويه والناس سي ادريس الله يجازيه بخير روح غاسل فاس اش يحفظ سيدي ربي العالمين. عمي ادريس غاسي شويه ونزل التايت تاع السلام الدعاء ان شاء الله والسيدة والناس والناس والنصبح خير المهم يشوف حاجه يستاذن الدعاء ان شاء الله انت تويسهم بقولوا يقالوا كي الدعاء كي الدعاء فانت تاسيد ربي قال المقبلين على رمضان غادي تشوف الله تعالى يا رب العالمين. الامام السي مصطفى الامام ايش الامام مطار السي مصطفى هذا فتي فرج الله سبحانه وتعالى زهو الله السي مصطفى قال جزاك الله خيرا. الامام كيس غادي يحفظ سيدي رب العالمين لان الامام اللي توسكتيش بركه خير خشت مغارب المهم شارع اسمنا ليلى المهم قال جزاك الله خيرا باش يحفظ سيدي رب العالمين. ديجنا الاخت الله يجزيها بخير غادي يحفظ سيدي ربي زي بلجيك من طرف محمد الداري حتى سيدي ربي تيحفظ غادي يحفظ سيدي رب العالمين الراو الناس العائله ضمارة إن شاء الله يا ربي يمين. أحبابي الكرام قبيلة ثم والله إلا فرغتو تنجن الأخت أحبابي الكرام ريسيكا بالبركة إجن الأخت غاسا يزنت شوي يهرش تقارن بسكيت الدعاء غادي يحفظ سيدي ربي يحفظ الدار سكنس يحفظ ديك وشي تقارن خص غادي يشوف الله يزيدها نعم الرجل والله حاجة تحكيسي كويس الناس نعم الرجل في الادب ولكن الله اعلم السحر ولا شي حاجه فاللهم اشفيه يا رب فاللهم عافيه يا رب يا رب تشافي يا رب المرة تزاري تتعشى الدعاء يا رب بس تستجب ان شاء الله. احبابي الكرام امشي نكمل خلعات امشي احبابي الكرام اللي باش فازوا في الشهر واش نحاش الجنوي من يعني هذه مش استشار من دايس يمكن كسان كسيدي خلاوة لا ويخرج أقوم السانيتاتير زي الخرق كان كيجي الدعاء عاود سيجي العاود كمان الدعاء مشي سقاني مشي تما خايب واحد باش يحفظ سيدي ربي كيكابر مالكا باش تصمم لاش نكمل الدعاء أقوم لا يخرق والو زامي زي سخاني وزاد زامي زي سخا يمشي تصمم سبحان الله يمشي تصمم يواجه هذا سيدي يحفظ إن شاء الله ونيتاتيا هاكا ونتشا يكمل شنت سامي تشا ونيتاتيا تشا كل شيء كاس مانيتا وقت اللي تشا تلفون من التصيها تشا لا قدم قرا المرة يا شامل السحر لا شامل صافي لازم تشا يكمل ثم يتغنى ونزل نيتاتيا فالختمة أنت سيدي رب العالمين لكن يحفظ إن شاء الله قبل أن نقارس عين قوم تبذل العلم أتشاش تنشي الموز شي نوزان ربما تيري غاس 500 مليون فرنك يتحرش يقاش قايس وقت ما سمعت قارس لا أقيان ويا شاش نديس يوزان يحفظ سيدي رب العالمين وتتبو خاتينو نوت الله يجازيها بخير إما سعادة يحفظ سيدي ربي ثروة نسى يحفظ كل شيء رانت مسكينة توسعهم الطاس كامل توسعهم 6 مليون و500 الله يجزيها بخير هذه حفظت ربي شحال تكون مسكينه خاطي نوروت تخشى الدعاء خاطي حاجه نوروت مسعى لي طاوت اسمها سماره كي يحفظ ربي ثم القانون اخيرا من غير افضل الاعمال يتحب الله تعالى هي ذلك بمعنى الكلمه كي تقمتي الطول شي ربي شي خرفاس اذا اليوم غاوي 17 ما يوصل ولله الحمد يقينا ندخل ان شاء الله صوم ويس 15 انزل زي شاش ان شاء الله ختام مسك هذا ميكاب بالبركه هذه جزاء سيدي رب العالمين مره يمسر ان شاء الله مره ويدي لاخسي اسمه في شاش وكلويا يقين ختام